Good morning. We're outside. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone here. Hello, dear, good, lovely friends on Zoom. And welcome to to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. We gather here on our church grounds where there is a decided chill in the air, and in homes from across the county and across the state and perhaps across the whole world. We don't know. And those of you who are at home, I hope you are feeling warm and cozy, and we're doing fine here. If you need to like rub your hands and stomp your feet a little bit to stay warm, that's peachy. I am the Reverend Dana Warsnop. I am the minister of this congregation, and it is wonderful to welcome you all here for a tender Sunday of remembrance at this turning point in the seasons. A couple of notes here to all of the folks who are joining us online. And I know other people are still arriving. Come, welcome, welcome. Just come join. We're well spread out. And if we need more chairs, we can haul those ones out. So welcome, everyone. A couple notes to folks online. We do have 2 hymns today. And because there are going to be no screens with lyrics on them, either here or at home, we gave you a copy of the lyrics in an email that was sent out to you yesterday. So if you want to take the time to track that down, great. Also, those hymns are Spirit of Life in Spanish and English, and also Let It Be a Dance. And for our Tree of Life ritual that will happen toward the beginning of our service, you also received an email that had a template with leaves on it to cut out and then write upon. And later, we're going to hang our leaves on this tree. Later, you can hang your own leaf when you come to church. This will be here for a little while. Or you can take a photo of your leaf and we'll post it on Facebook. Or you can do both. And if you are Zooming in for the first time and you are not yet on our email lists, I invite you to join with us in spirit. And, and I know that we all get emails. We get lots of emails. And so if you didn't get those and, just go along, be here in spirit with everyone. And on this Sunday, in this time of the seasons turning, we remember those and we are remembering those who came before us. Let us also acknowledge the peoples who inhabited this land for thousands of years before our arrival on them. For some, these are your own ancestors, because that lineage has not left. It was close to decimated, but not wiped out entirely. And so that legacy lives on in some of us here. And for others, these are people who departed these lands long ago, that was lost as others took it over. And we need to acknowledge that that is land that we stand upon. In particular, the legacy of the Chumash peoples here in Ventura, and also displaced peoples throughout the world. Those displaced centuries ago and those being displaced this very day. A couple of announcements. Our annual auction is going swimmingly. We are just over halfway to our goal and we have a week left. Our online auction continues through next Sunday and the bidding has been lively. And I woke up this morning to find that I have been outbid on 7 items. And I want you to know I'm not going down without a fight. I don't know who you are. you don't know who I am, and that's the way it should be. But I say to you now, you're on. So there's information on how to bid on our website in UUCV this week, if you get that, and also on in our Facebook group. And lastly, I have some good news from the Board of Trustees. Following recommendations of the reopening team, the board announces that the number of people, we're going to be increasing the number of people who we will welcome in for in-person worship. This is, I had really hoped at one point, how many hopes have been dashed, right? So I had hoped at one point that we would just be able to throw the doors wide open and not have to do this piecemeal. And the pandemic has not cooperated with much of anything, any plans that we've had for a while. So we're opening it at first to 50 people. We'll see how that goes. And then we'll see how, and eventually we will be back together, all of us in person without restriction, but I have no way of predicting when that will be. So next Sunday, we're starting with 50 people, and we're going to have a reservation system that I think over time will work out. And so just be on the lookout for emails this week that'll help you do that. And we'll keep going. And, we're still making this up as we go along a lot. And so continue to be just kind and patient and friendly with one another, and we'll make it through. And so let us now bring ourselves together in this space. Bring your full hearts. Bring your memories and your love, and let us enter sacred space.
I'm Worship Associate Jerry Mendelson, wishing you a very pleasant Halloween Sunday here at church or online, and also very pleased to welcome our newest Worship Associate, Zena Kingshill. We invite those who are Zooming or streaming into this service to light a chalice or candle at home as Zena turns on the chalice of our free faith here at church. We're not going to contend with wind this time. We begin our service this morning with these words from an anonymous author. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. I'm Carolyn Bierke, the music director. I'd like to welcome you all and invite you to join me in singing our opening hymn, Spirit of Life. We're going to sing it in Spanish first, then English, and one more time in Spanish, so we get a little extra practice and enjoyment. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing. Spirit of love. Oh, sorry. Fuente amor. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón, cántale tu compasión, su bien amor. hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí. Y al corazón cantaré tu compasión. Solo volar, sube la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Ayúdame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Okay, I'm feeling way more comfortable doing that Spanish, and we wanted to practice a couple of times because you know, some of the rhythms switch, and y'all sounded wonderful. Thank you. It is lovely to be together. Today marks a time on the calendar when many cultures in many times remember dear ones in their lives who died. We are now halfway between fall and winter, and that's partly why this day is a day when there are so many cultures that think back and remember those who have passed as the days grow noticeably shorter and colder in the northern hemisphere. For ancient peoples, the harvest would be done by now, and perhaps the dying light brought to mind those who they had lost. In Britain, this day became All Hallows Eve, or Halloween. There's actually an apostrophe in there to take out for the V that you don't hear. All Hallows Eve. A day when it was said that the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, and those who have died may walk the earth again, which can be kind of scary or kind of cool, depending on how you think about it. Did you ever wonder why people often dress up as ghosts and skeletons on Halloween? It is partly to be part of that shift, that transition. In Mexico, this time of year became Dia de los Muertos. Sorry, I was really good at Spirit of Life. Ven a mí, ven a mí. Dia de los Muertos. When people decorate the graves of those who have died, bringing them all their favorite foods and drinks. And it's like they decorate the graves and they clean everything up, and there's a picnic, and it's like their loved ones are there with them at the party. Now, I realize that some of you, this is just an element that didn't get all the way through my brain. And I know that some people have brought pictures of loved ones, and we did not create an altar with ofrenda, and I apologize for that. And if you have pictures with you, hold them and hold those people dear to you as well. For it is sad when people we love die, as it should be. They brought us gifts and shared their love, and we want to stay connected with them. And today is for sadness and for love, for tears and for laughter. It is a day for seeing the ways that we are all connected in mystery and in miracle to each other and to the universe and just to everything. We are connected to each other in ways that we can see and ways that we cannot see. This is a day for feeling the roots that hold us close and the wings that set us free. So today we are remembering those who are part of a web of relations, of our relationships, though they are no longer with us, with our memory tree ritual.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fidelity. I'm the Director of Religious Education. So I'm going to invite us all to look at our tree here and just think about what you notice. It looks kind of bare, maybe even a little sad, a little lonely, a little lifeless. So let's shout out some ideas. What can we add to our tree? What is our tree missing? Leaves, yes. So we are going to be adding some leaves to our tree today, just like this. So our memory tree is a way to honor and remember those we have loved and lost to death, or maybe some other sort of loss. Maybe you lost a friend recently. Maybe someone you really care about is no longer a part of your life. Maybe a pet, maybe a treasured object that you loved and cared about is no longer with us. So our memory tree is going to remind us that these things, these memories, these objects, these people, they are still with us, part of a web of connection that is still here, even when we can't see it.
So I invite everyone to take some moments to think of somebody. As Fidelity said, it could be a family member, a friend, a pet, somebody who has died or who you have lost somehow, someone you loved and who you still miss, someone you still feel connected to by your love. Fidelity and Zena and Jerry will pass out baskets of leaves that have all, and also we have pens for you to write with if you don't have your own. And when the basket comes to you, please write two things, take a leaf and then write two things on it. If you have your own pen, that's great. We have pens for you and we'll collect them at the end too. So on this leaf, on one side, write the name or draw a picture of your loved one. The family member, the friend, the kitty cat, the puppy dog. On the other side, you can then also write or draw a picture of the gifts that they gave you. These might be the things that you remember the most, the gifts that you remember because they lived and they loved you. This can be the reminder of the relationship you had together, the love that you gave and received that never really goes away. So folks on Zoom, you can do the same with a leaf that you have prepared, or you can, if you missed that whole message, you can take the time to draw and cut out a leaf and then write the name on one side and the gift on the other. And you can simply write their names into the Zoom chat so that you all together see those names. And while we are doing this, getting the leaf, writing or drawing the name, Artie Perez will serenade us. So take this time to be a little quiet and reflective. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay if you cry a little or even a lot. Your sorrow and your tears will not last forever. And remember that the gifts you got from your loved one can be with you forever. Those connections are still with you. And whenever you're ready, come and hang your leaf somewhere up on our tree. Just come forward. Be careful with one another. We also honor the people in the congregation who have died this year. Helene O'Connell, Marcy Burns, Robert Taylor, Bob Jones.
So let's just take a moment together to honor and appreciate how beautiful our tree has become, filled with the memories and gifts of people and things we have lost. I know for me, sometimes it's difficult to hold just how much sadness there can be when we lose something that is truly, really deeply dear to us. I know I sometimes get scared if I let myself feel sad, if I let myself feel the weight of how difficult this loss was. Will the sadness overpower me and last forever? But we know that it doesn't. We know that we're able to move through these big feelings, these big waves of grief and emotion. And though it never goes away, eventually we're able to appreciate more the gifts, the gratitude, the joy of these things and the impact they've had on our lives. So I share with you today the words of Martha Whitmore Hickman. It may help from time to time to look on the underside of this pain, of this loss, as one lifts a leaf to look at the silvery underside and see what riches and gifts we have had in the life of this one whose death we mourn. Sometime down the road, the grief will be on the underside, and the sense of blessing and gratitude will be the bright surface, luminous and glowing.
Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community or to funds that help people in our own church. There are, at home, you have two ways to give: through the link that should be posted in the chat and or by texting from your phone. And everyone here, you can text to your phone at this number, 844-901-1779. I'll say that again in a little bit. And you can also still, if you're here, you can write a check. You can also give cash in a basket at the end of the service if you would wait till the end of the service. Our offering today goes indeed to our own Inreach Outreach Fund, which is the funds that we use to help people in our church or those people who come to us saying that they need help. I call this our Say Yes Fund, for it helps me and others in the church to say yes when people are in need. It's hard to ask, and we get to say yes generously and enthusiastically. I say yes to Kathy Powell when she calls to help and asks for help for a soon to be formerly homeless person who we are helping move into an apartment with our moving in fund. And I just get to say yes. I get to say yes to someone who says, you know, I'm short on rent this month. I get to say yes to our latest endeavor, which is, you know, if you are particularly, well, if you come home one day or you're just having, you know, you're having a busy, full week, and the idea of cooking a meal for yourself or your family is just beyond what you can handle. We have a fund where we will say, yes, go order that and have it delivered. Don't even think about it. Food will be delivered when you need it. Because I know that in the pandemic, that has become especially problematic on every day after every day after every day. This is our Say Yes Fund to people in our own congregation and to people in the community. And so I thank you for helping me, making it so easy for me to happily, joyfully, abundantly, simply say, yes, we can help you. Thank you for giving generously as you always do. One more time, the number to text your gift to is 844-901-1779.
Part of life is its joys and sorrows, and it gives us strength to share these experiences within our UU community so that we can support one another. We place stones in water for both the ups and downs in our hearts, with the ripples that result touching us all. You can submit a joy or sorrow through a link on the website, uuventura.org, or a link in our Thursday email bulletin, UUCV this week. Those received by 10 p.m. on Saturday will be shared that Sunday. I invite you now to speak into the gathered community or write into the Zoom chat the names of those you wish to celebrate, memorialize, or those in need of the loving embrace of this beloved community. Zena will now place one final stone in the water for all the joys and sorrows yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we be truly grateful for all that is our life.
Good morning. I'm Mark Mendelson, and I don't know whether I'm here because I'm son of Worship Associate Jerry Mendelson, I'm a botanist with the National Park Service, or because I have a green shirt to match the trees, but I'm here. Friends, fellow trick-or-treaters, inhabitants of the earth, and tree huggers, on this Halloween day, it's easy to picture the silhouette of a dark tree in front of a cemetery. Now think about the gifts that tree and just about all trees give us. Oxygen, shade, branches for bird nests. Trees have overseen us playing with our grandparents, and we've buried or spread the ashes of our ancestors among their roots. I was inspired by last Sunday's video of Naima Penniman preaching in her poem that we trade psychosis for symbiosis and stay focused. When life seems crazy, I suggest you go outside and journey to some trees, at least 2 trees, but better yet, a woodland or a forest, somewhere where you can observe the closeness of multiple trees. There, underground, below just your feet, are hundreds of miles of roots woven together. Scientific discoveries have taught us much about this topic in recent years. For example, University of British Columbia ecologist Suzanne Simard studies how trees are connected below the ground through a symbiotic relationship with a fungus type called Mycorrhizae. That's the one big word I want you to learn today, Mycorrhizae. According to Simard, you can think of them, Mycorrhizae, as extensions of the root system. The tree depends on the fungus to go out and explore the soil, and the fungus goes and explores and grows into all these tiny niches and accesses nutrients that are otherwise unavailable to the tree. In this partnership, trees give carbon to the fungi in the form of sugar, and in return, the fungi give the trees essential minerals. But each tree and its associated mycorrhizae are not only reaching out for themselves, they're reaching out to their neighbors. Dr. Simard continues, the way that communication happens is that through these mycorrhizal networks that link tree after tree after tree, they send resources back and forth. And when she says resources, she means things like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, water, and hormones even. Fungal threads link nearly every tree in a forest, even trees of different species. Resources tend to flow from the oldest and biggest trees to the youngest and the smallest. Chemical alarm signals generated by one tree prepare nearby trees for danger. And if a tree is on the brink of death, it sometimes gives a substantial share of its carbon to its neighbors. I'll close with the image of my recent work on the Windy Fire, scraping away leaf litter from around the trunks of giant sequoias to make them less likely to catch fire. We scraped down only to where the shallow roots began. When I got tired, I simply looked up for inspiration and an energy boost. How is it that trees over 200 feet tall and 2,000 years old can have roots less than 3 feet deep? One of the ways is they spread their roots wide, not deep. And in sequoia groves with multiple trees, they intertwine their roots with each other, not competing, but actually sharing with each other. May we follow the example of trees, living in harmony with our neighbors, sharing resources through an interconnected web.
Oh, how I love knowing that these trees are sharing with each other. They're talking to each other, and there's fungus in the all the in between places, and it's all working together. Roots hold me close. They hold each other close, and they help weave us into place. There are so many ways that we are connected to one another. Even after people have died, there are still invisible strings that connect us. And today we share the story, The Invisible Web by Patrice Karst. And if you volunteered to be a helper in this, just wait, I'll call you up in just a sec, okay?
The very best news ever, has begun to spread all over the world, one heart at a time. Shout it from the mountaintops. So everyone repeat after me. Every single one of us is connected.
Every single one of us is connected. Every single one of us is connected. Every single one of us is connected to those we love by invisible strings.
That means Giovanna and her daddy are always together, even though he moved to a new house. Omar feels the tugs of love from his parents, even though he's far away at school. Mr. Chang still feels Mrs. Chang close by, even though she died so long ago.
And you, at this very moment, may feel the string of someone close to you, even though they are not here. You can't see it, but it's real. Our strings reach out to everyone we know. They travel far and wide to families and friends, classmates and coaches, to bus drivers and babysitters, neighbors and pets, to aunts and uncles and grandparents and grandchildren, and countless other people.
And get this, all of those people have hundreds of strings themselves.
They soar high over rocky peaks and across the 7 seas, deep into jungles and valleys, and wind through the busiest cities. All these strings crisscross one another and create a nest that covers the planet interlacing us together, cradling us forever.
The invisible web.
The web has no borders and wraps every continent. Within it live butterflies and flowers, starfish and seahorses, lions and ants, rivers and snowstorms, and all human beings. Giovanna, Omar, Mr. Chang, and of course, you and me too.
Some say it reaches to our ancestors and those we cherish in the beyond. One tug on a string sends love to every one of us, woven together in this divine tapestry. And that means good news. Just one good deed travels along the entire web.
Everything is linked.
But sometimes folks forget. When they can't feel their strings, they forget about our invisible web, and strings can get tangled up.
Like when lonely Louisa isn't invited to sit with anyone at lunchtime. Or when sad Stefano wishes his friend Marcus wasn't so bossy when they played. Or when Mrs. Patel struggles at work without help and she just wants to quit.
When strings are ignored, they become weak and they begin to unravel. But the more people who care for the web, the stronger it remains. The web feels like every parent since the beginning of time, holding each of us in millions of gentle arms.
Their supportive fingers always find a way to untangle strings so the love flows again. But it's up to all of us to spread the word.
Our time is right now. As we tell our family and friends, sisters will remind brothers, who will write to cousins, who will call their great-grandparents, who will nod as if they've always known.
If we remember the web and tug at it often, nobody will ever be left out. We will see others more clearly. The people of the world will smile at one another. And when one of them cries,
they will all want to help, and they do.
Marco apologizes to Stefano, and they have even more fun playing. Someone helps Mrs. Patel at work and tells her what a great job she is doing. She remembers she's important and feels happy. She knows right then
that the invisible web is real.
After school, Louisa strokes her cat. Louisa strokes her cat, who purrs the news to the stars. The stars whisper the secret to the clouds, who tell the songbirds, who serenade the world with a melody of love in the morning and all during the day, until the invisible web glitters in the twilight. The owls hoot the news into the night.
The invisible web is alive.
It breathes as we breathe, pulsating all over our earth, the single heartbeat of love.
And do you know what that makes us all?
One very big family.
One very big family. So isn't this the best news? Truly, we shout it from the mountaintops. Despite sometimes being separated by time or distance or death or loss, we are all connected in one giant web and network that unites us together. We are still connected to those on our tree today. The people who might not be with us, the losses we have experienced, we are still connected to them. And when we tug, you might find that you feel that tug back. These threads of connection never leave us. That's the good news that we shout.
I invite you now into a time of stillness. Close your eyes. Put your feet on the ground if you can, if you're comfortable doing so. And just arrive here. Think about your own invisible web spreading out between you and all you love, above the ground, under the ground, all around you. Send out your invisible threads into the world. Yes, this web is invisible, yet it is also real. It links us together. It is a living thing, like the roots of the trees and the fungus that connect them all together under the ground. A silent meditation. Amen. So it looks like before we go, we're going to need to collect some leaves. We will do that. Worry not. As you go home today, getting ready for trick or treating, if that is in your future, or as you simply get ready for the week ahead, carry the memory of the invisible web that connects you to all the people you love. It actually connects you to all people because everyone has their web and their web and their web, and we are all ultimately tied together. May this be the roots that hold you close, connecting you to all the people, the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, cats, dogs, hamsters, birds, iguanas you have known and loved. And also connecting you to all the people you meet, your friends at school, even the person ahead of you in the grocery store. Just after the service, we are going to invite the people who are here to actually create a real example of the web of connection that will represent the web of the indivisible web. And so we will ask you to do that in just a minute. We're going to sing a hymn, closing words. We will then create webs together, and you get to move around a little bit more. May you feel as you go forth the web like arms that hold you and carry you when you need it. May this web feel like your dance partner when you feel like dancing. This invisible web of connection is with you all the time. If you felt sad today, thinking of someone who has died, I hope you can lean in and feel the web holding you and your loved one together. For there is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. And I invite us all to rest in that web of love. May it be so.
Please join me in our closing hymn, Let It Be a Dance. Rise in body or in spirit. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like the willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Please repeat after me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. The warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Those we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I love dancing with your leaves, just through that hymn. So I invite those, we're about to have a benediction and then a postlude, and then I invite those who are in Zoom to stick around for a little bit as we weave our webs here at church, or you can go into breakout rooms and share your tender memories with one another. And if you have cash or check for our Inreach Outreach Fund, you can put them in the basket that's just over there in the corner when we are done. I leave you today with the words of Leah Derland Jones. For those who came before us, we offer gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing. May we feel surrounded by their love. May we be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, and their dreams. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, loving mightily, and creating heaven on earth with our own invisible webs. Go forth in love, go forth in peace, go forth feeling connected to all there is beneath the ground, over your heads and in your hearts. May it be so.